I was very passionate about the military. I always had been. I just never thought I could do it. I never thought I'd be able to make it to be a Marine. And this one day I just told myself, I'm going to do this. I don't care who gets mad. I don't care what it looks like. I don't know why God's telling me to do it. And I felt like something was tied to it. I learned to really hide my stress, and I usually hit it with alcohol. It seems harmless when you're doing it because you're in a safe zone. You may be in your barracks, or you might be out at someone's house on base, or there's so many safety nets because people are watching out for you that you don't understand that it's becoming a problem. The lowest point I felt like I was at, it was 2016, and I had just gotten back from a UDP. We had done a little deployment overseas, and my son was born. I wasn't there for it, and then when I came back, and I was able to meet him, a lot of things just kind of changed. My son didn't know who I was, and it's tough. And I was trying to save my marriage the best I could, trying to get back to God the best I could. It's just difficult, And throughout that time, I had lost a lot of my peers, whether it's suicide or, sorry. I often ask myself, how can I lead these Marines and get them prepared to go into Iraq or Afghanistan or wherever we may be sent, but I can't even leave my home and I can't leave my marriage. I just told God, I prayed. I remember I was sitting in my barracks room and I was just sat on my knees and I was praying. I was like, look, if you want me to lead a godly Marine Corps life, if you want me to be a leader because I'm a spiritual leader in a place where there's leaders, I'll do that for you. Like I will be a vessel for you, and I'll be the anomaly in the military, and I'll be that Christian person that you need, the follower of Jesus. And I went back home on leave to see my son, and shortly after that, I found out there was some infidelity going on. I can't sit here and blame everybody else. I was really suffering through alcohol, and I wasn't leading a godly home, and I was just spiraling out of control, and it's like I was just lost in this tornado of just crud, and I didn't know how to work myself out of it. I knew what I needed to do. I knew where I needed to get to, but it just wasn't happening. And shortly after that, my ex-wife and my son, they had moved home. I had found out my son was diagnosed with autism, and that just hard, very hard. Because I knew he needed me, and at this point, I'm here and you're there, and I feel like such a failure. I feel like I failed. I grew up in a godly Christian home, and my parents didn't divorce. They never, that wasn't an option. And here I am looking at my son, and I'm like, man, I failed you, And I put the mission first so many times, and I put the Marine Corps first so many times that it was just tough, I had just called Hannah out of the blue. I gave her a phone call. I think I asked her if she wanted to get coffee. I could care less about coffee, but I was just asking her if we could get some coffee. And she laughed and she said, no, but you can come meet me at church. And that's where we really were able to find ourselves. Both of us were battling a lot of demons, and both of us were trying to grow in our walk with God and really learn who we are and what we were going to be and who we were trying to become as people. We were friends first. So at that point, we were kind of like, well, maybe you and I are supposed to do something in the ministry together as friends. Like maybe we should open up something. Maybe we should do something. And one thing just kept leading to another. And honestly, it sounds kind of cheesy, but we fell in love at Lakewood. We fell in love with God. We fell in love with ourselves, and we fell in love with one another. And it started out pure. It started out me first with God. It started out her first with God. And then it developed as a friendship. And then it was just, completed with marriage, just the way he planned it. We got involved with the ministry over here at Lakewood. But what we were able to overcome through Christ, it was kind of a perfect storm to start getting into freedom ministry. There's so many veterans at Lakewood. There's so many families that are broken. And the biggest thing for me is the potential that they have when they get out. That's so many leaders that we would have in the church that have so many life skills from the military that if they could just find that switch to flip it on to God, they would kill it. And my biggest goal and Hannah's biggest goal, we're just always telling them, hey, we've been where you're at. Anytime we're with a veteran who's suffering through PTSD or anger, or divorce, or you're just not happy, we're talking to them and we're just telling them, what you see here right now, smiling, is not what you saw 4 years ago. You should have seen me where God met me at. It was dark and it was You should have seen me. You should have seen us in our marriage fighting in the middle of the night because we don't know how we're going to make it, to crying, to praying, to being crushed by the Lord because He's going to use us in our testimony. And I just want, it's such a rewarding feeling knowing that they finally see what we see, that we're able to be used just to plant a seed to show them who Jesus is, to show them that they're loved, and that there is a possibility to both serve in the military and to serve Jesus, but to also, to make it out of those dark places and to be able to function as you should, as God intended, and just be happy and full of peace. So on this Memorial Day, we thank all of you family members have paid the ultimate sacrifice, who cannot be with us here today. We just thank you. We know whether you served 50, 60 years ago or today, it's a long time of people that aren't here anymore. And I know all of us out here have had to let go of a loved one and a peer who's paid the ultimate sacrifice for this country. And we just can't thank you enough. Just know that our prayers are with you and your family. For all those spouses and for those kids whose parents may not be here today, or maybe they've lost a grandfather who served years ago or grandmother, we just thank you too. It doesn't go without being appreciated. And we love you very much. We're always going to be constantly keeping you in our hearts and thoughts and prayers, and we just appreciate what you allowed your loved one to make for us as the United States of America. Thank you.